What's up? What's up?
All right.
Hey, it's like watch the countdown go all the way down. Like, okay.
I like that 0 at the end. That's pretty cool.
So intense.
It is very intense.
That music's so
Makes me
intense.
very
It's
nervous.
like, game day. Let's go, guys.
I gotta get hyped on a Sunday
Yes.
night. Yikes.
So let's go through the intro. So thank you everyone for joining tonight. Once again, we actually made it on schedule this time. We said 2 weeks.
We did it.
Yeah.
We did it 2 weeks.
But there was some chatter in the chat about bi-weekly, and I may have that wrong. So we'll have to change it to bi-monthly. I don't know.
Okay.
We'll just be like every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks, and there's probably 6. But so, hello, my name is Anthony. I'm from Ant Lab Games.
And I'm Francis, also Ant Lab Games.
All right, and we have some of our regulars now on the chat with us. So let's start according to our screen. We'll go up a rat. Fedigator.
All right. Hey, how's it going, everybody? I hope you're all ready for Meeple Madness. We had like 67, I think, surveys completed, which was awesome.
That's a great
I
result,
know.
actually.
I was like, hey, if we
for
could get
any
40
research.
yeah. So we got 67, and there are upsets, I will say.
Oh,
And so, but we'll get to that in a little bit. And I'm probably going to need the chat actually to help out with one because we have one tie. So we're going to need to do a tiebreaker tonight. And the chat will get to determine who wins in overtime. So, but yeah, it's going to be fun.
Nice.
Very
Excellent.
good.
And for her second episode with us, we have Vanessa.
Hi, everyone. I'm Vanessa. I am a avid gamer, as I like to say. I am a assistant organizer for our local game group here in Pittsburgh, Western PA Gaming, and just a fan and friend of Ant Lab Games and board gamers in general.
Nice. And Mr. Matt.
I'm Mr. Matt.
I'm like an elementary grade school teacher now.
I have my chalkboard.
Yeah, you look like you're in a classroom, man. It's great.
Yeah, my office. I'm Matthew, and I own and operate MB Born Games, which is an indie publishing board game company, and I have a lot of fun on these bi-weekly, monthly panel chats. So I'm here to see the upsets.
Yeah.
Yes.
You will be
All right,
pleased.
so I'm definitely excited to get to those results.
Yes.
Results, but we're gonna save that for later in the episode. But I think this week we want to talk about a couple things, right?
Yeah, we always like to start off with a little bit of news, warm up our muscles with some good.
And there's
good
been
old
some news.
board gaming news.
Yeah.
There's always news, even when you do this every 2 weeks. So, we're going to talk today about whatever you guys have, I think news wise. But I think the big news of this week was I kind of pitched it as a marriage on the title screen, but this partnership between GameFound and CMON. It's like exclusive deal now that they've got going. So I think everybody was like really surprised by this, or maybe they weren't so surprised. I have no idea. I was kind of surprised, but it made me think. I was like, okay, well, what's going on with CMON? Like, if you've been with us for a while, especially on these panels, I think it was actually a year ago or so in the spring, we did a pretty extensive industry prediction episode
with financials and everything.
With financials and everything, and we brought all the Embracer Group stuff because that was kind of new, their acquisition of Asmodee, and looked through all the data and the stats and made some predictions that actually came to fruition. So we are not financial professionals, at least I'm not, but we made some good predictions that actually we saw come through. One of the biggest ones being just kind of this trend towards TCGs, smaller box kind of games and things like that. So anyway, so we thought we would maybe start off with that as a topic, if that works for everybody. So I did put some links in there that I don't know if you want to bring up, but what I'm going to do is just give you some facts.
Yeah, let's present the facts
present
first,
the facts, and then you guys can discuss. Tell me what you think, because we definitely didn't want to bore you with just like their quarterly report. So, so what I went through and did is I looked at CMON's last few annual reports. Now these are like in arrears. So the most recent one that they have is actually year end 2022. Before we get to the interim report, we year end 2022 that kind of talked about what's going on, what happened in 2022, and let's see. Actually, you know what? Let's start with 2019. So start with the 2021. So in 2019, this is year end 2019, they had a total of 87 board games. They ended up with a total revenue of 30.5 million, which was up 8% from the year before. Kickstarter, which this is really what I want to focus with you guys on, is like their Kickstarter revenue was at 16.7 million. Wholesale revenue was at 13.4 million, and then their online conventions revenue was at $245,000, which, by the way, was down from $1.2 million in 2018. So that was the first fact that I saw, was like, even in 2019, to see that drastic slice in, like, you know, online sales, board game convention sales, like not just stuff going through to wholesalers, but that Kickstarter number was at 16.7.
I'm surprised that's as low as it is.
Isn't it? I know. Yeah.
Way higher.
Their report. Yeah. You would think. Well, like I said, it was down 1.2 million in 2018. So that's where it was, like, pretty consistently, and then just completely got slashed. So like you can see where, like, some of the revenue is starting to come from, even as far back as 2019. So cost of sales, another cool thing to look at, because everybody's complaining about how much shipping is and all of that, was at 15.9 million in 2019, which was up about 18%. And profits that year actually dropped to 14.6 million overall. So counting in, like, all the costs and all that stuff. So fast forward to 2022. Again, this was the last full annual report that they had published last year. We should be getting the 2023 one probably in March, is usually when they report it. They went from 87 games in 2019 to 119 board games. So that doesn't count, like, miniatures games and war games and stuff. But that's the bulk of what they're doing. The overall revenue went to 45 million, which was up 20% from the previous year. And then Kickstarter revenue went up to 25 million from 17 million the year before. So we're starting to see, like, this increase in how much they're actually producing through crowdfunding, as opposed to, like, wholesale and obviously, like, online conventions. Online convention revenue went down to $129,000 in 2022.
Wow.
So, like, when you go to the cons and you're not seeing, like, the big booth and, like, all this stuff, it just kind of, contributes to that question that we actually had, I think, a couple months ago, and we started talking about, like, are conventions worth it? When you start seeing, like, where some of these big players are going and where their revenues are coming from, it may be indicative, perhaps, of, like, you know, where people are shopping. Cost of sales in 2022 was up 15% from the year before and went to $27 million. So again, in 2019, they were at 14.6. 2022, they reported $27 million cost of sales. Now, they did have a 2023 interim, which means they look at June and they say, how's it going? And then they compare it to the June of the previous year. So in 2023, here's where they stood. Cost of sales in June 2023 was at $21 million just in June versus $15 million the year prior. Now, this is what I thought was interesting, too. If you look at their inventory, so this is, like, value of stuff they've got sitting around, I guess, right, was $2.5 million in 2022, went down to $344,000 in 2023.
Wow.
Does anybody know where that inventory went? Did they just sell it off? Did they loot? Did they get rid of something that I don't know about?
I wonder if they're
stuck in shipping.
Yeah, it could be. It could be en route. But they're still... It may have been. Maybe. It might have been games they haven't delivered, right?
I mean, that's a lot, though. $344,000 in inventory right now. Well, as of June.
Be careful. You're gonna
versus
some giant fraud.
Have we met, Matt? Versus 2.5 million the June 2022, a year prior.
Right.
So, like, it's just kind of interesting. I'm really, really excited to see where this 2023 report comes in for the annual. But the big thing I wanted to kind of end on, as far as CMON goes, is where their Kickstarter revenue was at in June of 2023. Was at $11 million versus $6.3 million in 2022. So almost double. Yeah, almost double at that point. So, and again, if you're looking back to, like, what Kickstarter did for them, or what I guess you could say crowdfunding did. I mean, the takeaway here is just that obviously that's where the revenue's coming from for them. I mean, you guys know, like, this is in their reports too. It's really just comes down to, like, maybe 4 or 5 games a year that are crowdfunded that provide the bulk of the revenue. So once I saw this, it made absolute sense why they were considering shifting to a platform that I'm guessing, hypothetically, because I know nothing about the deal, probably maybe give them like a better cut, something like that. I don't know. I don't know that they need the exposure because everybody's on top of CMON's releases anyway.
Yeah.
So it's not like they need Kickstarter to be like, what's coming to Kickstarter versus GameFound.
Well, they took a company whose model is basically sell everything through crowdfunding, pre-orders.
Yeah.
And they snatched them up because like it just made a lot of sense. Like that's where the model should go. If that's, for them, especially to work out, because one of their biggest expense is really paying the cut, right, for the Kickstarter fees. I'm sure they get a good slice. But
as far as like the crowdfunding goes,
so if GameFound gets them in and cuts them a sweet deal, guarantees are just coming through them.
Alex at Board Game Co. put out a video today about this, and he works for GameFound.
Yes.
Now, he didn't get into the details because he said he's only a mile apart. I'm sure he can't say much,
I'm sure,
but obviously there's an exclusivity part to this. And obviously GameFound is meant for, look, we're just tabletop games, right? Where Kickstarter is going to do all this sort of stuff. But he did put out some numbers out there, and Kickstarter's been steadily dropping, which I didn't realize. And CMON has to be one of their biggest,
it is,
and that's just been snatched away. I mean, GameFound, we did some over-unders at the end of the year. So I go back and see we picked over and under on some things, but I mean, now you have Awakened Realms and basically CMON teaming up to just corner this market in terms, with this one site. Now, I mean, GameFound needs to do some things a little bit better, like get an app, which would help.
It would.
That would help. Maybe they'll be able to afford it now.
Maybe you can afford the app, right? But it's going to be really interesting to see, does Kickstarter do? I always had the feeling, I don't know for sure, I always had the feeling like Kickstarter is just like taking everybody for granted, like whatever, you're going to use this anyways. So you're going to, so we'll see if more of these companies are just go into GameFound now. We'll see.
I tried to look up some Kickstarter data actually, because I wanted to, as sort of a holistic, how's the industry doing? I have a couple more numbers for you, but Kickstarter was one that I wanted to see, they'll tell you how many games they've put on there in total. And they'll tell you how many millions and billions of dollars, whatever, have been sold on Kickstarter, but they won't break it down by year. I can't find it.
There is
I could.
Alex had it. There's a website I had never even heard of it, and Alex talked about it in his video.
Okay.
Which I encourage everybody to go watch his video.
Yeah.
It's called tabletopanalytics.com, and it's basically Kickstarter. And I didn't know Steamforge basically had an exclusivity with Kickstarter, but I think that was who it was. It was them or Dwarven Forge. I forget which one. But anyways, I mean, CMON over their whole Kickstarter has made $106 million. The next is Steamforge at $33 million. I mean, it's like 3 times more than the next one. And that's now gone out of Kickstarter.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, what do they take? Do they take a 10% cut? Do you know, Matt?
Matt?
Or is it 7?
Can you say?
Like 7%, and then there's like a 3% merchant fee. So like when I get sent like they send me like a lump sum of money to my bank account.
Okay.
And then it's usually between like 7 to 10%, basically. It's
a big cut.
It's huge.
7%.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's ginormous.
So that's what I was thinking. GameFound probably likely gave them like, hey, we'll take 1%, and they just get more business to their site or something.
And they'll drive more people to the site.
Anyways, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now they're getting 1% of something where they were just watching, Kickstarter take it all out.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what it is, obviously, but I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, they'll definitely, the more of those big games go to GameFound, they'll be known as the site for big board games. And that's where people are going to go.
Right.
It's an easy win.
Yeah. I would be, it would take more time and not something that I can do on a weekend when the kids are running around, but to do some research on, especially like secondary market board game stuff, like what's going on. Because I'm curious to know like what goes on with these games after the Kickstarter's done. Like I know for a fact that people sit there as these things are coming in and they're just like, I have a mountain of stuff in shrink that I ordered and now it's here. And like, what do I do with it? Maybe I'll go sell it. And, so there's like a huge secondary market for this. And I don't know how much research has been done at like how active the hobby is,
I'd like
as
to
indicated
see,
by like where are the games ending up.
a good stat would
Do you
be
know what I
to know how soon after the delivery of a Kickstarter does it get listed. Right,
yeah,
in
yeah,
that secondary market.
yeah. That'd be
for sale.
interesting.
I'm guessing with some of these
but
like
so
the Marvel ones and stuff. I mean, obviously pretty quick. I mean, some people are buying copies because they're gonna flip it.
well, yeah,
You know,
right.
we're gonna do that. But you know what? I mean, that's the thing. What I'm interested in finding out, kind of along those same lines, is like they keep bringing out these games, and you know, when you get it, you get the base game, and then you get like 10 more boxes of expansion.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
Awakened Realms,
right.
and that's Simon, and that's Mythic, and all these other games. I'm surprised actually people are still buying these as much as they are, because you can get like on a Facebook Marketplace or BGG, and you can pretty much get all this stuff now. I mean, you wait about 6 months. You don't pay this crazy price, this big markup.
Yeah.
They wait 6 months, and you're going to get it like half the price.
Yeah.
And you're going to
Yeah.
know which expansions they get. Except Matt.
Yeah, definitely get those.
Mine all hold value.
I always pay extra for Matt's games.
These $600-700 campaigns that they
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
they're all in where they drop a pallet off
Right,
your house.
right. Yeah.
I think
Well, and according to this,
that's the thing. When there's not enough, that
yes,
like double your money on the market. I remember that with Dwellings of Eldervale. Like people were selling it, you know, like for $600, and I'm like, I'll just wait for Breaking Games to like do a reprint.
Yeah.
And then they didn't, then they didn't reprint enough, and you're like, okay, cool, smart move. Guys.
Yeah. Also, I actually mentioned to Anthony earlier today when I was looking this stuff up, was like, it's almost like with the lack of like wanting to sell stuff at cons and selling stuff wholesale, it's almost like creating this, I don't want to say artificial scarcity, because it is scarcity, like it's real, but is that intentional in order to keep the value of the games high? Maybe. I don't know.
So. Or the demand is recurring.
Yeah.
Like they did with the PlayStation 5, right?
Yeah.
They put just enough out to get people wanting it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they could even hit store shelves without being gone. For at least 2 years, it was like that for the PlayStation 5. And then it finally...
That's true, yeah.
Now, you can only now start seeing them in stores more regularly, but it's pretty crazy how long they kept that scarcity going.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if it hurt them or helped them.
Yeah, it's nuts. On a similar topic, actually, so we have, I also pulled up Embracer Q3, which was just released like a couple days ago. And then the Hasbro.
Yeah.
The sad Hasbro
that's a good one
report too. But Embracers was interesting to me because they reported that tabletop was up 7% in Q3, which was the last quarter of 2023. And they attributed that to 1% of that was organic growth, but they really attributed it to like the product mix from Asmodee, and particularly focused on like on their TCG stuff. Like that's what they attributed it to. But what was interesting to me about this is that, and I have to say, I didn't know this until I started digging a little bit today because I've been living under a rock. But I didn't know that Awakened Realms actually has an exclusivity deal with Asmodee to distribute in the US. Did anybody else know that?
I had no idea.
Like I always thought I thought they just sold their, like I just thought they did the Kickstarter thing too, or the GameFound thing. I didn't know that they are actually working with Asmodee. This was as of like August of 2022. So like I said, I am under a rock, or else that's not happening anymore, but I haven't seen otherwise. But if that's truly the case, then we also have to include that when we think about like Embracer and what's going on with them. Especially considering like when they say, oh yeah, well, tabletop is up, and it's like, okay, well, what part of tabletop is up, and like what part of your portfolio is doing really well? And if it's not, like, let's say Awakened Realms isn't really contributing to that, does that then kind of inform this whole hype Kickstarter, crowdfunding, whatever kind of culture that we have in terms of like getting your games through that method as opposed to buying them in the store? Like, I don't know. It's interesting. Raises a lot more questions, I suppose. Are you showing that right now? Or are you just looking for yourself?
I'm showing it.
Okay. Yeah, really interesting. And then Hasbro's, if you wanted to bring that up, was a sad fourth quarter for Hasbro. Things are down. But I think they reported their Wizards of the Coast they attributed like their 1%, I think, tabletop growth to Wizards of the Coast. Is that right? So full year, 15% down, with growth in gaming, 10%. So
go up. This is interesting.
Go ahead. Yeah.
The fifth one was this 1.5
that's
billion dollars.
Yeah. Billion, yeah. 1,500 million.
Yeah, so the loss includes 1.3 billion of non-cash goodwill and intangible assets. That's interesting. That's a big loss.
Can you explain what that means to people who might not know what that means?
On goodwill and non-tangibles?
Yeah.
That's like when you buy an IP, when it's mainly mergers, acquisitions, and any of the intellectual property you get is an intangible asset, right? Or goodwill. So you have to, they basically have to price it at what they think the market value is for that IP at the time, which is an interesting concept in itself. But but that's where they got the hit, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
Also interesting that Magic Digital took a dip, like 2%.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still in the millions, but it's still a
hit.
I
know. But even when they talk about their growth, like in the gaming, like board gaming industry, they're still attributing a lot of that to Magic. And if you look into their reports, like the actual numbers, a lot of that is still Magic. So just interesting on kind of where things are with the big players. And I think we could probably do something a little more in depth come spring. So like March, like I said, I know a lot of these full year annual reports from 2023 should be public.
Yep.
And like released and all of that branded nicely so we can
dig into them. That I did not operate at a $1.5 billion loss, so I feel a little bit
that's good to know. They should be talking to you, man.
You need to work harder.
I don't know what they're doing over there. I gotta straighten them out.
It sounds like a lot of bad bets on their part, man.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Not good. But scary. And that's what the big companies are doing. So you wonder how the smaller companies are navigating, right? Because the industry's changed.
It is,
and again, that's 2023. I mean, 2024 might bring some even more interesting things. I mean, it sounds like the crowdfunding is going to be fine. Well, at least on the Game Found, which it will be really interesting to see how much of a hit Kickstarter takes with this. I don't know if we'll see it. Well, we might hear about it by the end of the year.
Those are like the two heaviest campaign hitters for crowdfunding.
Right.
Like Awakened Realms and Simon, man. Like they're just.
I will tell you one stat I did get from the Kickstarter, and you can go look too under their statistics if you go dig for it. It basically breaks down to like overall all the games that have ever been put on there. Their gaming projects fund at about a 50% ratio. Like 1 out of every 2 games will actually come to fruition. So, I don't know what that means because we have no longitudinal data on Kickstarter. But I'll have to check out that site that Alex talked about. I'll have to watch that later.
Yeah, tabletop analytics. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
scroll through there.
Pretty straightforward. With
lose myself to that rabbit hole.
All right, so that's our industry right
now. Any thoughts about any of that before we move on to more exciting things? Now that everyone on the chat's asleep. And Vanessa.
I was listening. Yeah, it's just a lot of numbers and like I looked at it. I looked at the stuff you posted very briefly, and it's just a lot of business terms and stuff. I'm like, I don't know what any of this means. I'll just let the people who are more, adept.
This is a weird worker placement.
You said
we don't have enough games like that.
We don't have enough games like that. No.
Like building a balance sheet.
We were just talking about that. Actually, we should design a game that's just
like work.
I mean, Anthony, you're in business, so you kind of understand. Say you understand that stuff a little bit more. I work with trees, so it's not like I'm looking at, sheets. Like I'm reading data sheets and measurements of how to mix up materials with water and stuff. But what I take away of it is it just kills me. It's like this company took a $1 billion+ loss and they're still in operation. It's like, how much money do these companies make?
Yeah, that's the scary part. They make that much money that they can lose that.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at this. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say real quick. There was one number I thought you kind of mentioned or stopped on for a moment, but was the the number about when they go to cons and stuff. Obviously,
oh yeah, down to 100 and something thousand.
Yeah, so that's got to be on purpose. So it's going to be interesting to see how big of a footprint Awaken or CMON like have at Gen Con this year, because these businesses know, you know, what's our ROI? That's my business term of the night. I know that one. Return on investment.
Yes.
You know, because Gen Con is expensive, especially for, you know, these. I mean, if you're building that huge footprint on that floor and stuff, you know, how much of this are, you know, are they just going to have like a much smaller booth? And
well, here's the thing: if they only own $340,000 in inventory right now, that is the max that they can get rid of.
Yeah, they're not
right.
They don't have this huge warehouse
like,
of games to bring to cons.
Like that's the thing. I think it is intentional.
Yeah,
it sounds like they're just making enough games to fulfill.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's
I mean, it's a
I do know
on their end, but
I also know that they are trying to, and this is again from their financial report. They're still trying to push a lot of the business into Asia. And they're trying to kind of up the interest in the hobby there. So I don't know if that has something to do with them like warehousing or keeping like low inventory. So it's just kind of like a produce it and send it sort of model.
Yeah,
they're owned by it's a Hong Kong company. They're incorporated in the Cayman Islands.
And they're always doing stuff out of Singapore. You always see stuff coming out of Singapore. And then, well, my buddy David over at Man vs. Meeple, where did he go a few months back? They were having the big
Singapore.
Thailand.
It? Thailand,
Yes,
yeah.
And that was a CMON event. So you're right. They are pushing more into Asia.
I think the owners are all from Hong Kong. Like it's an Asian company. So
okay. All right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right.
So there you go. Interesting stuff. The more you know.
The more you know.
That's our financial segment.
Let's move into sports stuff.
So,
I can talk about that a little bit. Just hockey mostly, but I know. We might also put the audience to sleep if we talk about sports.
Yeah, if we talk, I'm sure they've seen enough sports in their feed for the last couple of weeks. On Facebook, Super Bowl. But Gary, let's hear the brackets, man.
Okay. All right. So before you share my screen, you can pop that up in just a second. So let me just give everybody a little bit of a breakdown of what's been going on. So we started 2 weeks ago. We did the 2024 Meeple Madness, where I took the 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022 games, the top 16 games of each one, put them into brackets. Let's see, kind of like the basketball March Madness style.
Yes.
And then I've just had everybody vote. And if you weren't here earlier, when I mentioned it, we had like 67 responses, which was awesome. And people filling it all out. We do have some upsets, which is great. So I'm gonna preface this before I have you share the screen, because what we'll do is we'll go through the results of the survey, and then I'll show you the new bracket, and then I will post the new survey for the round of 32. So this is the round of 64 that we're going to go through, and then we're going to go through the round of 32 to get to the Sweet 16. So after the first round, we had 8, possibly 9 upsets. No number ones went down, but two number 2s did go down. Possibly a number 3, but we'll get to that in just a moment. Yes. So if you want to go ahead and share my screen. And let's see here. All right. Can y'all see that all right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we'll just start going through the games here. So the first matchup was a number 1 versus number 16. This is a 2019 bracket we're talking about right here. Okay. So Clank Legacy over My City pretty handily. 50 to 16. Yeah.
I figured that would be a blowout.
Was not my vote.
No, it wasn't. Did you liked My City?
I picked My City. I just don't really like Clank.
Yeah.
It's okay. But I definitely don't want to play it as a legacy game.
Yeah.
No.
I liked it. I thought it was fun.
This next game was way tighter. This next one was an 8-9 game, which was perfect. It's just like in basketball. Those 8-9 games are like, you have no idea who's going to win or how to pick those. And it was Endless Winter 34 to
really,
32.
people? Come
Oh, wow.
on. Really?
It was literally tied yesterday, and two more people filled out the survey before I shut it down. And
Probably my two friends.
Brandon had to be one of those, as he's a big Endless Winter fan. You know, but I picked Endless Winter on that one too. But that was a tough matchup. Yeah.
I don't like deduction games, and I did play Endless Winter with Brandon. So I was like, it wasn't bad, but if I had to choose between those two, it was going to be Endless Winter. I do not like deduction games. I'm awful at them. So.
See, my favorite.
All right, the next one was a 5-12 matchup on Mars versus Toledo. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't surprise me.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
This was a tough one because I was like, I pretty much would play neither of those games. But out of the two, I think I'll go Toledo because it's not a Lacerda.
Now, this next one, I was very surprised. It is an upset. So we have a number 13 beating a number 4, the first upset of the night. Let me get it down here. Red Cathedral over Marble.
And that was that is good.
Describes the group that watches our
Yes.
I guess.
Right?
But that's not entirely because we send it out to Vanessa, send it out to some friends. We send it out to, we all have very different tastes too.
Yeah.
I think we have a good like diversity
I love both of those
interests.
games. But I think
they're both great. Yeah, Marvel had me too.
Yeah.
I would have. I was like, I'm sick of Marvel stuff, so I just was like, Red Cathedral.
All right, the next one, another upset, 6-11. Viscounts of the West Kingdom over Terraforming Mars.
We're spilling the tea.
Oh wow!
You're so shocked you're doing takes over there.
You know what? This doesn't.
I know.
Yeah.
This does not surprise me.
I can see this. I think it's just fatigue, right?
I think you're right.
And we got a lot of
Expedition.
What is this?
Version?
Okay.
It's the more like Race for the Galaxy type version.
Ares is the card one,
but it's all,
not the dice game.
But it's big.
I liked the card one because it plays way faster than Terraforming Mars. But
Ares plays faster than the dice game. We actually just filmed that last night. That's our next video coming out. Speaking of Terraforming Mars fatigue, but, that one plays even faster than Ares.
I know, yeah.
Which is the two of us could get it done in about an hour, right?
Yeah.
Which is the original Terraforming Mars could take you many hours, many
it's just
hours.
Way too light. Yeah, Ares was a good sweet spot, I think.
Yeah.
All right, the next one. If BJ Potato is in the chat, he will be happy with this result. Barrage over.
Okay.
So Barrage continues.
I'm interested in playing Barrage.
Yeah.
Moves over.
I want to play it. I want to play it.
I was just like, they're just totally different games.
Oh my gosh! I mean, you got this heavy, mean Euro compared to a party game.
I mean, it is.
My vote with the
mean.
So Clover. I love So Clover. It's one of my favorite party games. That's just so funny. I laughed at that matchup. I was like, really? That's like two different.
And you know what? It was a little closer than I thought, but there you got some Barrage lovers out there. So, all right. Next one is a 7-10 matchup. I'm not surprised by this one. Wonderland's War over Batoku.
I haven't played Wonderland's War, so I can't really speak to it. But
either of these, but
not interested.
I don't think Wonderland's Wars is making it past the next round, though.
Because number 2 Wingspan just destroying Cat in the box.
There it is back there.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
First Cat game
Why
goes
isn't it
down.
Wingspan?
That's practically a bye week for Wingspan.
Cat in the box didn't have a chance.
Come on.
That's not fair. That wasn't a fair matchup.
And believe it or not, as much as a blowout that is, that's not the biggest blowout.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah. In fact, it may only be the third biggest blowout. It's either the third or second, but we'll get to that. All right. Moving on to the next bracket, which I forgot which one it is. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is the 2022 bracket. Heat metal to the metal.
I can't even with Heat. I can't even with this game.
You can't with Heat. You
so
can't with
over
Maracaibo.
No, Maracaibo was fine.
Was fun. We played it with 3. And it was okay. We had fun with it. But at the end of the day, after we played a couple of games, I'm like, if I never play this again, I won't be that upset.
I'm not. Listen, I don't know.
I'm
Did you
not
guys
a big
play
fan of
with
it
the-
either. It's so popular in my game group. Like I'm telling you, like Heat's like Heat. People can't wait to play this game. They'll play it 2-3 times sometimes in one.
See what's wrong with Heat?
And I'm like, I played it 5 times, and the more I've played it, the less I've liked it. I'm at the point where I'm like, if I never play it again, I'd be happy.
I think Gary, go ahead. You were trying.
That's enough
I'm
ice
sorry,
water
Gary.
thrown on Heat. All right.
Heat for Heat.
You know what? Very good game. Let me ask you this: Did you guys play with the extra modules, like adding the new breaks and stuff?
The weather.
No, we didn't. We didn't do the
weather.
no. We
Okay.
didn't do the custom stuff. We didn't put the custom stuff in.
Try it again and try it with
Didn't
that
make
stuff.
it.
Yeah, well, because it
was,
becomes
here's the thing,
way
it was
more
a good game.
unique.
Like it's smart. The way that it plays is smart. I think I just have an aversion to like. I don't like rondelles. I don't like stuff that goes in a I don't like stuff that goes in a circle. I don't like mine exactly. I'm just a very picky gamer in that way.
Yeah.
No, but I don't know. It was good, but I wasn't excited playing it. Like even when we played with the 3, and maybe it was because we played with Brian. It was Brian and you and me, and you guys were like, I don't know. I felt like I was over at like my brother's house or something. Like they were like all excited about the cars going around the thing, and I'm just like, I'm like, oh my god.
Look, I told you it was fun, but after a couple of games, I'm like, all right, I'm just racing around the track, playing car.
Yeah,
fine.
Yeah,
well, Heat moves on.
Clearly, we're clearly.
On.
I am.
I don't hate the game.
That's okay.
We have some sore losers. Okay, moving on to the next one.
He's going the distance.
He is going the distance. That's right. And Matt's going to sing that song. All right, the crew.
Okay, yeah.
This
over
one
on. This was a just.
Yeah. Again,
no further
never
comment
played on.
needed.
Don't really like the crew. But I was like, I'll vote for the crew because I'd still rather play it because it's quick.
I like crew. But it's also deduction, Vanessa.
Yeah. A little bit of that, yeah. All right, the next game was a 5-12 matchup. Maracaibo destroying mind management.
That makes sense. Complete sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know what I voted for here. I've not played either and not really interested in either. But I think maybe I went Maracaibo because I was like,
Maracaibo.
Pirate sounds are
dominant.
Like seafaring sounds more interesting than deduction again.
You'd like
I need Pirates in Maracaibo.
We
That's
have another
one I was thinking it was Pirates, but I'm like, yeah, I'd rather probably play Maracaibo.
Pirates in Maracaibo, yeah.
Yeah. What's the next one there?
Yeah, the next one is another upset. Another 13 seed beating a number 4. And that is Parks over Splendor.
Oh,
okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised, but
well, not enough of you have played Splendor Duel because that's a great game.
Not enough duo gamers in
Yeah, I guess so. All right.
That's a tough one.
The next one, you guys will be happy about this one. Kanban destroying another cat game.
Yeah.
Very happy about that. That was a 6-11 game.
Bad bracket to be a cat in.
That's a tough one.
All right, another 3 versus 14. Carnegie knocking off Paleo.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
That was a pretty dominant win. Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people played Paleo either.
Carnegie's good.
Yeah.
They're both good. Yeah, they're both good. I did pick Paleo, but that's just me.
Oh, you did?
I picked Paleo because I've wanted to play it, and I know I probably will not play Carnegie. So.
Next one, Radlands and Praga Kaput Regni.
Oh.
Let's see here. It's still loading here.
Waiting for your dial-up to catch up with this one.
I guess so. Man,
I
thought I paid that AOL bill.
You got to get another CD in there, Gary.
Right. Well, I'll tell you this. Radlands won that one. Okay, so they won that over Praga Kaput Regni. And I will say, so the next one,
that makes sense.
The next one is the one we're going to need the chat to break the tie.
You're gonna have to fix the screen.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna let me see. Let me just reload. Let me reload this. Yeah. Okay. And that is Oathsworn versus Cubidos.
Yeah.
That's no wonder it's tough. I don't know any of those games. I don't think I've played either.
Well, no, and Oathsworn I don't know if I would play. But Cubitus, I probably would. I mean, I would play both. I play anything.
So this is a dead tie?
It was a dead tie.
Wow.
I think I voted for Cubitus, though.
Here we go. Let's see if this is working now.
Is it pronounced Cubitos or Cubitos? I've heard it both ways.
Cubitos.
Yeah, I've heard Cubitos all the time. That's how I always say it.
There's
Not that it's important.
Oh, that's close.
There's Radlands. Yeah, it's close
Yeah, it's
to
real
Praga.
Yeah, it's really
Wow.
close.
And then Osworn.
Wow.
That.
All right, chat.
30.
All right, chat.
Chat, you get one vote. Just type it in the chat which one you would pick, and you're gonna pick the overtime winner. All right.
We've got one
You
vote
vote as
for
well.
Cubitos right now.
Yeah.
Yes. Gizmo's got Cubitos.
And and he didn't play it.
I've not played them either. I don't know. I can't remember which one.
Chiana's Ghost. You can't put neither.
Put Praga back and I'll have that as a
Praga
winner.
back. Option.
That's
Three
not
away.
If I had to put,
There's another vote for Cubitos, and now we have Oathsworn.
Oh, I got two
Oh,
I'm putting
Oathsworn.
Oathsworn.
Run away. We're the Cubitos fans.
it's my
Come on.
game. I can vote.
I feel like this is cheating.
All right.
That's not cheating.
We can give it to Oathsworn.
All right, we're gonna give it to Oathsworn. Oathsworn wins. All right. All
I
right.
think so.
Okay. Now let's see. Moving on to the 2020 bracket. Dune Imperium
Oh.
over
yeah.
Boone Lake, and I gotta be honest.
What?
Be honest, that's a
Whoa.
little closer
Allie's
than I
gonna
thought
be
it would
sad.
be.
People love Dune Imperium for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought Dune would smoke Boone Lake. That's,
Yeah.
that's what I was
Maybe
thinking.
Allie voted like 20 times.
She probably did.
She's stuff in the box.
She voted
Boone Lake.
21. I had to get rid of one of them. Yeah.
Straight
Boone Lake is
burner.
pretty good. We enjoyed it.
Yeah, we like Boone Lake.
Boone Lake
Okay.
was fun.
I've not played it.
We got another 8-9 matchup, and I actually thought the 9 would win, which was Tainted
Okay.
Grail, but Meadow
Mm.
Oh, really?
Took-
Wow.
Tainted Grail. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a surprise.
More accessible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, kind of goes back to like Tainted Grail was hot
Yep.
at a certain time,
Yeah.
and now it is not anymore. You know what I mean? As
Right.
much. So,
Yeah. It's not one of those
Yeah.
timeless games.
yeah.
No, yeah, you're right. Well, yeah. It'll be interesting. to
'Cause
see
even
what
when it
people
was
kind of-
hot. Yeah.
Well, I think too, Meadow also has the new storybook expansion that's coming out for it at some point this year. They just announced that like last week.
Yeah. I think
that's
that comes
another
out pretty
thing.
soon, actually.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah.
That could have contributed. I mean, I love Meadow, obviously, and I just think it's a much more approachable game compared to.
I would say it's more
Tainted
accessible.
Grail, for
Yeah.
sure. Like I've taught that to a lot of different people, and I mean, Tainted Grail is a monster of a game.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a tough one.
Yeah.
All right. This next one, I think,
Interesting.
is the biggest blowout of the tournament so
Really?
far.
Let's see it.
What is it?
Oh, no. Sorry. One more before
Oh,
that.
okay.
Okay, I was like,
Scout-
Wow, Scout beat out Final
Scout
Girl.
beat out
Not
Final
many
Girl.
solo
Huh.
fans here.
And Scout.
oh, I voted for Final Girl.
And did you see that Scout is coming to like Target and Walmart?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
that-
is it? Okay.
Yeah, and
Huh.
all new packaging and everything. So
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
gonna be
got that
interesting.
like the typical Uno packaging that has like the whole cutout so they can hang it on a. What is it? I should remember what
Oh.
those things are
Those
called.
big
I work at
box
Target.
stores, they normally require repackaging a lot of the time. Those big box stores.
Really?
Oh, do they?
I have a
Okay.
few publisher friends who got into Target. Like, we'll take it, but you got to change the box to this. And like, oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
interesting.
I
Yeah,
think
the
that's
peg,
the one I
peg
remember.
hooks. That's what those
Sometimes.
things are called. It has a little hole you can hang it now on a peg.
Oh, the
hook.
pegs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now here's the blowout.
Is it the real blowout?
The real blowout.
Wow.
Oh,
Look at
Wow.
that.
Whoa!
Wow, that's-
Hey,
Not surprised.
No, that's-
not surprised.
That
But
is a number
okay.
4
Woo.
seed. Just absolute. That is going to be a strong. You know what?
Wow.
And you'll see it here in a minute in the bracket. I didn't even realize when I was making the brackets. Usually I do. Guess who's going to be going up against Lost Ruins of Arnak? Most likely,
what?
Dune Imperium.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
In
oh my
the-
in
gosh,
the
that'll
Sweet
be
16.
fantastic.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how those two
Assuming-
games are always being compared. Like, oh, they're kind of like each other. Which one do you like better?
They are, but they're like, but they're not the same. But
They're not. I
Not at
played
all.
both.
Yeah.
yeah,
Lucky
And
Duck
it's-
taking that
Yeah.
big L right now.
Big.
I know,
Yeah.
right? That was a terrible
I did
game,
not like that
by
game.
the way.
Which game was
It
that? I
sounds like
missed
Thank
it,
you.
you said.
I wanted
Destiny
that
Ace I did
to
not
be
like.
good, but it's
Oh,
not
yeah, I've not played
good.
that.
I didn't like it either.
It was.
I played it
You
once.
pull the
It was
thing
so
out of the
procedural.
box. The minis are this big.
Yeah, they were so
Right.
tiny. You
Like,
couldn't even
can't
tell who
tell
was
I
who.
what's
can't,
what.
like,
Oh.
No, I was like, yeah, looks like the
and
picture.
it was just
kinda.
very like anticlimactic. How everybody had the same story. You're all doing basically the same story.
Yep.
Like,
Right.
And it's a
looking for the
race to
same
who. It's
stuff.
about
just a
lucky.
race.
Yeah, did you get lucky enough to go to your place
Yeah.
first? Because nobody can do
Right.
anything
Yeah.
about
That's
stopping you
exactly
either. It's just like,
Yeah, it's
okay,
just, like,
you picked the right path.
not
I
as hot.
actually,
As it
I
seemed
played
to
for
be.
the first time at like with Stephanie. And,
Yeah.
and they busted it out at like 11:30 at night, and I was like, all right, I'll try this. And then, like, I was like, dude, I was like,
That's not the game.
all right,
to
let's
play at 11:30 at night.
wrap this up.
At 2:30, Matt's ready to wrap it up.
Yeah, it's like,
All
oh,
right. Just a quick one before we end the
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, that's not a quick one, man. It just goes on and on.
All right. Next
All
up,
right.
we get another number 6 versus 11. Not surprising. Planet Unknown
yeah,
just
yeah.
destroying Oath.
Mm.
I like
Wow.
Yeah,
It's
that's
such a
game.
good. That's one of
That
my
is-
favorites.
Yeah.
That is a
Again,
good
one.
a much more approachable game. And
Yep.
Oath is another.
Yeah,
It's
but-
like the Meadow thing. It's like Oath is another monster game that
But
not
Oath-
a lot of people get into.
Oath has it. I mean, it's like a Kingdom Death monster type following.
Yeah.
You
It
know.
does, but I
Yeah.
don't think it's very big.
Wow.
Well,
They don't
you
take
can't
these
play it
that
on the
big.
app too. So,
Which
Oh.
is-
Yeah.
all right, we got another upset, another 14 over a number 3.
Oh.
The number 3 was Eclipse Second Dawn, and who beat it? Flamecraft.
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 Yeah, I like
Okay.
Flamecraft.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
good.
I
that's
love
what I
Craft.
Can't compete against cute dragons. Come on.
that bake.
You're not. You're gonna lose every time.
Yeah.
I can't help but feel like Brandon was probably on here voting like Flamecraft, because you know how much he
Yeah,
loves
he
Eclipse.
did not like Eclipse at all.
All right, this next one was a tight game. Cthulhu Death May Die versus Return to Dark Tower.
Mm.
Wow.
Oh, Cthulhu won.
By
Mm.
2 votes.
Two
Wow.
votes. That's it.
The game is so good.
I thought Dark Tower was
It's
gonna
so
win that.
fun.
I don't remember which one I voted for. Maybe Return to Dark Tower, just because I don't know why. I did have friends that own it. I saw them playing it, and the tower was cool. It's like a toy. It lights up.
It's
It
just a
makes
big toy.
noises.
Fucking
Yeah,
toy.
it's just a big toy, right?
It's
Yeah.
like we're playing it, and I wasn't expecting it to make
It
noise.
spits out a
We're-
die.
No, and it's little skulls. It
Or
spits out little
skulls, yeah.
skulls, and it goes like it screams and stuff. I'm like, it's great. I'm not joking. It has sound effects and everything. It was crazy. And I didn't
Yeah.
expect that. And we're playing a game, and I hear this like weird thunder, and then it's like, oh, I was like,
So goofy.
Yeah, I had no interest in that.
Oh,
Just
okay.
because of that.
Because of that.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Stay
What
amused.
do we got?
Another big upset, another 15 over a number 2.
Wow.
Res
Oh,
wow.
Arcana,
Res Arcana.
Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion.
I want to play.
Wow.
I want to play Res Arcana.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is interesting to what like some of these kind of say, I think, is again like that whole hype thing is
Mhm.
real.
Yeah.
Where
You're
like,
right.
yes, it was number 2 in 2020 or whatever year this was, but like, is it gonna last? And that's
Yeah.
what I love about
People
this
are
whole thing.
they've moved on.
It's really cool.
But other games that have been out a while, they still stay high.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right. All right. We got one more bracket here. Now, this was a 2021 bracket. All right. So this is a pretty tough bracket. The 1st
Mhm.
game is Arcana versus Wayfarers.
You mean
Wow.
Arc Nova.
Ah,
Arc Nova.
Yes.
Wait,
Yeah.
what'd I say?
You said
You did
Arc
Arcana.
Arc Nova, not Arcana.
Yeah. Not Arcana. Yeah, I'm thinking of Res Arcana. Arc Nova
Yes.
over Wayfarers. And that's Garfield's, I guess. Well, let's see. That's their second game they've had on. So they're 1-for-1
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
So, all right. The
Yeah,
next
yeah,
game
that's-
was.
Love Arc Nova.
Yeah, Arc
Was-
Nova's gonna win. I think I even
Yeah.
voted for Arc
I don't
Nova
think so.
over
I
Wayfarers.
I think Lost Rooms of Arnak's going to pull this whole thing out.
Really?
Yeah.
I do. We'll see.
It's such a good game. Yeah.
All right, the next one is Blood on the Clock Tower over Dwellings of Everdale. And that winner is Dwellings of
Yeah.
Everdale.
Yeah.
That was a
Wow.
crushing
I love Dwellings. I voted for Dwellings. I like Clock Tower too.
I've not played either of it.
What do you call it? Everdale, by the way.
Yeah.
Eldervale?
It's Eldervale.
Eldervale.
Yeah. Dwellings of Eldervale.
Yeah, you put
Eldervale.
Everdale.
Gary can't keep the Elder Dale Woods.
Oh,
Everdale.
I mean, I've never
Oh,
played
that's funny.
Dwellings of Everdale, but
And you know what's sad? Like, I don't know, we caught it. We all know what you meant.
Eldervale.
I looked behind me at my copy. I was like, is it Everdale?
No,
I
it's
don't think
Eldervale.
It doesn't matter. It's not going to win this whole thing. Which, by the way, what's the new game he's got coming out? It's kind of like that. The same.
Andromeda's Edge.
yeah,
That's it.
Andromeda's
That actually
Edge.
looks
I
good.
heard that's
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm all over that one. That looks
Yeah,
good.
that looks pretty good.
Eldervale in space.
Yeah, it's Everdale in space. All right, the next one is
Fairyland it is.
the next one is Revive over Unmatched, and that winner is
Revive.
Oh,
Revive.
Revive. Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
Definitely. I
It's
think
behind
we
us,
have a lot of
too.
heavier
Yep.
gamers in our audience too.
See, we keep all the good ones.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right, the next one is Hadrian's Wall, number 4, up against 13 Turing's Machine.
Ooh.
Oh,
Hadrian's
yes.
Wall.
And Hadrian's Wall,
Yeah.
pulls that one out.
But I'm surprised though that Turing Machine
Did that
held
well.
so strongly
Yeah.
against
Yeah.
it. I mean, it's a good game, but it's not. I wouldn't have expected it to do that well.
I liked Hadrian's Wall.
Yeah.
All right. The next one, the third Garfield, Paladins of the West Kingdom, number 6 versus number 11, Long Shot, the dice game. And Paladins just
That doesn't surprise me.
smoke those horses.
I didn't like long
Turn them into crazy glue.
They're horses.
You could be glue.
You
got
could
dark.
be glue. That's right. All right, this next one was almost an upset.
Ooh.
So I'm kind of spoiling, but it was almost an upset. And I was rooting for the underdog because I do like the underdog a lot. And that is Sleeping Gods over Photographers.
Interesting.
Wow.
Wow.
This was
Good.
tied going into about Thursday before
Huh.
more people got in and voted. Yeah. That was a
Wow.
close one.
Yeah.
Photographers.
Photographers there.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
The next one, we got 2 more games. Beyond the Sun at number 7 versus Lord of the Rings, Journeys in Middle Earth.
Ooh.
And Beyond the
Yeah.
Sun,
I figured that out.
Okay.
pretty handily. Pretty
It's
handily
much
won
more
that.
popular.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Good game.
And the last
What's
game,
that,
what's
I said
that?
Beyond the Sun is fun. It's a while to get going, but I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's such
It's
a
a
good
great game. Yeah. Once
Yeah.
you get rolling, it gets really good.
Oh, yeah. And then the last one is Cascadia versus Nidavellir.
Cascadia.
And
Definitely.
Cascadia
Yeah.
just smoked it.
That's not
So
I'd have
really,
bet all my money on that.
I like
That-
both of their games, but
Where's the
Cascadia.
bookie for
without
this?
a
Where's the
doubt.
bookie for the brackets? I want to start.
and what's so cool is like, we had these, we made these brackets up, and this there's always in basketball, it's like there's that one bracket where like basically all the favorites win. And this was the one, except for Dwellings of Eldervale, was a 9 over an 8, but all the rest of the favored teams or the top higher seeds won. So, all right. So let me do this. Let me stop sharing that, and let me share the new. Let me pull up the new.
Well, that's what I was
bracket
going to
here.
ask if you had the new visual.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know I do. Give me just a
Gary was
second.
working on all weekend.
This whole thing is so telling. I
Mhm.
love it.
Yes. All right. Let me fix this.
You know who's watching you now.
I have to I like that thank you to everybody who did vote.
Yes. Thank you so much.
60 something. I just remember like being in grad school and trying to get people to do like research for you, and you'd have to like pay them in pizza, and you still couldn't get like 30 people to show up, you know? So the fact
and
that we were able to get people to vote, that's awesome.
They put really dumb answers or something just so they'd be like, all right,
Yeah,
where's my
right,
pizza?
Mhm.
You got pizza. I'm involved. I'm good. Let's go.
Yeah, I know. Right?
See, I think you should
Organic
have just paid them in
blueberries.
beer and you probably would have gotten better response. But yeah, if it's through the
Mm.
university,
Also show
you
up
can't
for
really
beer.
do that.
I don't think the protocol would allow for that, but
No.
Just give them all NA. They didn't realize it was NA. beer.
yeah, right.
Oh gosh.
And give me just 1 second. I am filling in the last survey so we can. I'll put the. Yeah, I'm changing the answers.
Cheating.
And then I'll get the new survey out here. I just got to type in the new one. All right.
I'm gonna post it in my Kickstarter update. Say anyone who votes on this gets $1 off shipping.
Oh, see, there we go. That's what we need.
You get 500 votes.
All right. I think I just gotta make this active. Okay, I'm gonna put this in the chat, and that way, if somebody then you guys can put it in the chat for me, and then we'll, like last time, we will post it in the description since YouTube won't let you put stuff in the. Okay.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I put the new survey in the chat there. If you could put that in the public chat, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So here is the new bracket. So we got Clank Legacy up against Endless Winter. Oh, which by the way, so I did. Let me. I figured this out here. So. Oathsworn was a 2022 game. Okay, so when you break it all down, 2019 had 10 wins.
Oh, okay, yeah.
2020 had 8 wins. 2021 had 6 wins.
I told you 2019 was a good year.
And 2022 had 8 wins.
Wow.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. And there were 8 upsets. So yeah, 2019 hanging strong there. So
yeah.
By the way, chat, let me know if anybody's tried that survey. Just put in like, yeah, it's working. It should. I just want to make sure. I appreciate that. So yeah, so we got Clank Legacy going up against Endless Winter. We have On Mars up against Red Cathedral. That might be a good game. That might be a tough one. Tough matchup. We'll see.
Yeah.
We got Viscounts of the West Kingdom going up against Barrage. That's another good matchup. And Wonderland's War versus Wingspan. I think we know what's going to come out of that one.
The bird shall
just go home.
Just go home, Wonderland's War.
Bird shall raise the flame.
Chase that white rabbit. All right. All right. 2020 division. We got Dune Imperium over Meadow, which I think the Sandworm is going to smoke that weasel on that box. Lost Ruins of Art. That is going to be an absolute destruction.
Oh yeah,
that's bad.
But man, I'll tell you, that's
it's
16 game is going to be hot. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Planet Unknown up against Flamecraft. That's a good matchup.
Yeah.
And then Cthulhu Death May Die up against Res Arcana. So I don't know. I know what I would pick on that one. I know what I'm going to pick on that one, but we'll see. We'll see. All right. Moving down to the 2021 division. We got Arc Nova over the Dwellings of I'm going to fix that in real time here. Edvale.
Elder.
There you go.
I think Arc's going to beat it.
There we go. See, it was getting so big, I couldn't put it in there. All right, Elder Vale. All right, Revive up against Hadrian's Wall. That might be the first 2021 game to go down. We'll see. Paladins up against Sleeping Gods. That's an interesting one. And I gotta say, this is interesting. Beyond the Sun and Cascadia.
Yeah,
that's a.
I mean, I know what I picked, but.
Yeah, that's a number. Yeah. That's a number 7 up against a number 2. I'm liking that matchup.
These are like very passionate types of gamers who like these particular games versus another type of gamers who like that type of game. So yeah, these should be close.
That's the kind of game right there. You can win a lot of money if it goes your way.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The spread on that one is going to be nice.
All right, and the last bracket, we got Francis's favorite Heat up against the Crew, and her second favorite Maracaibo going up against Park. This is like
I don't hate Maracaibo. It's a great game.
This is the
I
Francis
just
division.
Don't like to play.
There you go.
Francis division.
I'll be
the
sitting there with
Francis
all my
division.
surveys.
Yeah. Kill.
You actually put that on there.
Yeah. Up against Parks. Let's see. Kanban EV up against Carnegie. And then Radlands up against Oathsworn. So
Okay.
I like that. That's a
Yes.
that's
This
a
is
good
gonna be a
matchup.
tough one, man. Oof.
This is.
This is a good one.
I tell you, the Sweet
Any,
16 is going to be
so
a
good.
fun. Sweet 16
It is. That's
Early
gonna be fun.
predictions on who's going all the way with this round through.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
still
know.
saying Arc Nova.
Let me come out of this
Back
a
it
little
up.
bit.
I think Arnak might squeak out of this on that division.
It might.
It
might.
I don't know
What
how
are the
soon
blue
it
ones,
gets to,
Scare?
but-
What are the ones?
Okay,
that
the Blues are the top 4 seeds in that division. So in 2019,
Oh,
Clank, Barrage, Wingspan all released in 2019.
Yeah.
So those were the only 2019 games in that bracket. I wanted to see if the top 4 of each year could just
made it.
So I kind of did just a bunch of little different things. What's going to be the top game?
Hmm.
Did the games in that division actually come out that year come out?
Right.
And then what year just won the most out of everything in all of
Yeah,
this?
yeah.
So
I love it. This is great.
I'll do the points like I do, when I do my March Madness. I'll just keep it easy. So it's like usually like 1 point for the first round, 2 for the second, and then it goes like the 5, 8, 10, and 15, I think it is. And then we'll just, we could just do points too. So, but yeah, so that's
Cool.
We got 2 weeks for the next vote. I might go out and try and play some of these so I can make more.
Yeah.
more of an educated.
vote.
Yes. 2
Yeah,
weeks
2
from
weeks.
today.
Yeah,
so,
we'll do 2 weeks from today. Anybody in the chat also, feel free to share this in your Discords, whichever
Please,
Discord
yes.
you're into, and just say
in your
vote.
gaming groups. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Rock the
Gaming
vote.
groups and
Vote or
yeah,
die.
yeah. It'd be awesome to get like another 70 to 100 surveys in. That was awesome. Really appreciated everybody doing that. And then, like I said, I think when we get to maybe like the Elite 8, we'll see, and we will just, like I said, we'll just do it live, and we'll just vote it up here in the chat. So
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Okay.
Cool.
yeah. So there you go, everybody.
All right. Well, very good. Thank you, Gary. We appreciate that.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah, it was fun. I
Gary
love
does
doing
so
this
much
kind of
work to
stuff.
put this together.
Yeah.
You know what I was
This is a
kind
good
of
one.
thinking? If this works well and y'all like this, maybe in a couple months we could do another one of like 2015, 16, 17, 18
Yes.
games, which are like have a lot of
Yeah.
awesome games. And like,
Yeah,
okay, wow,
right.
this is gonna get real tough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can do that. We can
Yeah.
definitely do that.
I think we could definitely do that. I think
And
the
we could
challenge will be.
Even,
Yeah, go ahead.
And I could somehow insert the final 4 of this madness, and we could insert it into that and see how well they fare up
Yeah.
against the heavy hitters, but make them the play-in games.
Yes.
could even do just like matchups of games that share the same mechanisms as well.
Oh yeah,
All
that's always
work
fun.
placements,
Yeah.
all, deck builders or whatever.
Totally.
So
Yeah. All right. Well, should we round it out maybe with just a quick go around of what we've been playing last 2 weeks?
Yeah, in the last 2 weeks, what have you played? So let's we'll start with Gare.
yeah,
We'll
I'll
go
go
around.
first. I'm trying to think. I played some more of that. I think the last time the Manila game, that solo
Yes. Yeah.
where you're
Mhm.
like taking. So I played it. I finally got to play it a couple times. Finally won it. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed doing that one. The one I actually was hoping to play the last couple days, I just didn't get it done. But I have it set up on my table. I got to say, I just found out that they have ordered like 1,500 more copies of this game to get out there. It didn't sound like a lot,
Oh.
but that's a lot for this company. What they
Mhm.
do. I think this game is going to end up on a lot of top 10 lists. And they already have this company's already bringing out an expansion for it, hopefully this year, which is uber rare for this company, and it's this game. the Plum Island Horror from GMT.
Okay. Huh.
This game is like, it's like a tower defense game, okay? And you have your, I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see this, but the board is huge. And so they're like, remember Plants vs. Zombies, the that app?
Yeah.
You know, the zombies are coming down, you're trying to get them. Okay, so basically you have these horrors that start at the top of the board and they work their way down, right? Because how it works is you could play this solo, you play it up to 4 players. I've heard 4 players characters get kind of long, but you have some NPCs you control, and you also have some that you can control the police department, and the police department has hilarious names like, and their takes off like other like Boss Hog, right? He's like one of like, but it's not Boss Hog. I forget what they call it, right? You have the sports team, you have like the football player and stuff like that. So they're kind of your special characters that have unique abilities. And there are civilians all around this island. The zombies have come out, and you got to try to extract all these civilians before 9 days have come up. And the way each round works, or each day, is you have they call them horrors. The horrors move, I think it's 3 times or 4 times, and then there's like 4 tokens, and they go in a bag. There's also a token for each of the players that you're playing, like your little sheet of players, right? And each round you just pick and you see who's moving. That's how you decide who moves. So like you may move first, and then it's just horrors the rest of that round. You're like, oh, I hope we can survive. Or it might be mixed up, or maybe you finally go last. There's also a helicopter you can try to fix, and then you can fly it into other places and extract people, get them off of boats. But it is, I've watched enough playthroughs. I just kind of dabbled, just kind of getting ready because I want to play, hopefully, in the next couple of days, a full game of it. But I think it's going to be a pretty popular game for a lot of people. I don't think he's in the chat tonight, but Marty, he's played it a couple of times, and I know they really liked it a lot too. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, that is Plum Island Horror from GMT.
Nice.
Was it on the P500 list?
It was on it, and it for quite a while. That's the thing. It's like they get a game, and it's like it takes 3, 4, sometimes 5 years for these games to come to fruition. This game is sold out so fast. They already have an expansion ready to go. Hopefully, get out pretty quickly here this year. So, yeah,
I like GMT games.
Yeah. So, yeah, I hope you guys can try it. Actually, I'll play it. I'll send it to you guys and see what you think.
Okay.
There you go. I'll try it.
Awesome. I'm definitely trying that.
All right, V, what'd you play?
A lot of stuff for the last 2 weeks. Trying to think which one I want to focus on. I just the normal stuff. Last Saturday we did a special 2-player games only day at our bi-weekly game meetup. So I played. Usually, I don't really do 2-player games. One of the ones I did try though was the Sobek 2-player, and I liked that one. It was different. I never played the original Sobek, so it was all new to me. And it's like you're just kind of collecting tiles and trying to create sets. And the bigger the sets, obviously, the more there were. But it's there's this like little indicator piece that you put on the grid of tiles, and kind of the tile that you take indicates where it points. So then you can take anything from the direction that it's pointing.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, that's cool. Another one I played brand new game is Art Society. I've played that twice. So, yeah, that's a cool game. So it's like you have your board in front of you, and the whole point of it is you're basically putting together an art display, and you're trying to fill up your board. The first person to fill it up ends it, like a lot of those types of games. But what's different in this one is there is a section on the board that's considered the eye level, and that's kind of like where you want to get a good bulk of your paintings, because there's a track on the board that's kind of like an economic track. So everybody drafts tiles, and whatever ones that aren't left, they have a number on the back of them, and it's usually goes from 3 to 9, 9 being the biggest paintings, and 3 being the smallest. And whatever doesn't get chosen, the type of painting it is, there's 4 different types, and it's green, blue, red, and yellow. Those will go up onto the one that gets a pick, and whatever the number is determines the value of it as it goes up the track. So what you're trying to do is potentially get your like highest paintings, like the ones that are worth the most in that eye level. So it will be, it's worth extra points. And there's also other things you have to take into consideration. So there's 4 different types of frames, and you want to try to have your paintings touch frames with the same type of frame. When you do, you get these little pieces they call wall decor. And the wall decor, you can go anywhere from 1 to 4, and they help you to fill up little spots that you're not going to be able to fit paintings and are worth points.
Yeah, right.
And another thing you can't do is you can't have paintings of the same type touching each other, because if you do, they void each other out. They're not worth any points. So you're trying to constantly juggle not getting paintings that are the same type, because if they touch, then they totally nullify each other. Then you're trying to get ones that are the same frame so you could get those little wall decors. And then you're trying to, I want to get it here, make sure everything fits. So it's easy, but there's a lot going on in that game. And I like it. I've come in last both times, so I don't know how good I am at it, but it's
a pretty game. It looks really pretty.
Oh, it's fantastic. Nice. Tactile wise too. The cover actually has recessed like pictures in it to make it feel like there's actual pictures on the cover. Yeah. So it's really fantastic in that terms. And it's just really, really nice components.
Cool.
Awesome. All right.
All right, Matt, what have you played?
We play games.
Yeah, sometimes.
Today, I watched some friends play Gary's favorite game, Lorcana.
Oh, there it is.
By the ones I sold it to.
Yeah.
For 4 figures.
Went to a board game cafe to meet some friends, and they're into the Lorcana thing, so they were having a good time. So
that's awesome.
But there's also so I moved to Fort Worth recently, and they have this Fort Worth game group, and every night they have meetup events for gamers all over different parts of Fort Worth. So Wednesday there's one that's a 5-minute drive from my house at a cider place. So I went there and then met the group. They're all really nice people. And then we just split off into groups depending on player counts. But I got to play Tobago, which is an older game from 2009. And it's kind of an adventure game where you're building a map with people and deducing to find the exact location of a treasure, and then collecting different treasures and stuff like that. And
that's cool.
Thing. Yeah, it was pretty fun. And then we played cockroach poker, which is a nice little light one. We were just teaming up on the one guy. I was like, yeah, yo, he's got 4 flies or 3 flies over there. And, I'm just saying. We played Strike, which is a dice game where it's so simple. There's a little circle, and you throw dice in it, and you're supposed to you have to knock the other die. And if it turns into doubles, a pair of 4s, you get to take them and keep them. And if not, you leave them in there, and the next person, when you run out of dice, you're out of the game. And one side has an X, and then there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Super simple, but it was just fun. And we're all yelling for this random.
That game is nuts.
It was, I liked it a lot.
It's so silly.
And then we played Ready, Set, Bet, and I won for the first time. So that was cool. But
it's one of Gary's favorites.
They're bringing out a deluxe version of that game.
I saw that, yeah, and I saw they're doing a bunch with that because it's taken off so well. But I want to do. I think other people have done this already, but I'm I want to do a birthday party where we do Ready, Set, Bet theme, and we all dress up and drink.
That'd be awesome.
Stuff,
You better invite us.
I just got to dig out my jockey pants.
I love that game. You know, it's really fun for what it is, and it's like I like it because I can play it with like anyone. You know, anyone can pick that up and be like able to handle it. So, and there's enough there to retain the interest of like people that are more hobby gamers, for lack of a better word.
That sounds cool.
So those are some I played this week.
Cool.
Awesome.
That's one of those games you're like, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah.
Like Time's Up. Why didn't I think of that? I wouldn't be working. I'd be sitting here just making up new cards for Time's Up. I'd be making so much money.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly.
What have we been playing?
Thing about us is everything we play, we make a video for.
Yeah, so you already know.
Everybody knows what we're playing. Right?
What do you play for fun?
Yeah.
That's the problem. You don't get
Not
to do
enough.
a lot of that.
Not enough.
But not to say that the games we have.
But we have fun playing games. Yeah,
we're fun. Like we enjoyed Boone Lake. We just did with the expansion. That was fun. But we got to play it a few times because it's the whole practicing before you actually
that's
do the
where
review and all that. And like we
goes.
like to go through it and score different ways and see how it works. But we enjoyed that one. Boone Lake is fun, and the expansion was pretty cool.
We did Terraforming Mars the Dice game.
Oh yeah, we filmed that today.
So you haven't seen that yet, but
we played that a few times. We even played that at 4, so we kind of got a feel for what it's like. More than just
and how it could go way too long.
It can go long, yeah. And on the table right now we have a game called Set a Watch.
Yeah.
By Rock Manor, same people who did Lawyer Up.
Oh,
it's have you heard of that one?
Set a Watch.
Is it another like same mechanic, same like card type?
No, it's actually like a overnight survival kind of puzzle game.
Fantasy
themed. It's cooperative.
Oh, cool.
And it's not new. Like this is not a new game. This is I forget what year it's from, but
it's based it's based in Dungeons and Dragons.
It's kind of like you have like 4
I think it's based
characters.
In first.
And they all have like you've got like a witch and you've got like a barbarian and all that kind of stuff. And then you have a campfire, which is like your main board. And each round you have to choose one of your people to stay at camp. And then they have specific camp actions that they can take. It's all dice based. So each player has a different type of die. So like you might have a D8, you might have D4s, depending on who you are. But you also have action cards that you can either exhaust or assign a die to give you powers to like fight or do camp stuff. But anyway, so you've got like the one person that stays back at the camp and does camp things. And then the rest of the 3 go and fight this.
They're on the watch.
And
like
they fight like the incoming horde of like monsters and stuff. So.
Yeah. It was it's pretty cool.
It's really, really cool.
Yeah, you have like a creature deck and you basically have to get through 9 evenings. And then you have like a fire meter, and depending on how bright the fire is, how many in the line you'll expose, because it's like they're coming in a line to get to you. So the brighter the fire, the more you see, and the more you'll be able to prepare for it. Because you're trying to balance all of your attacks out to kill the whole line, because if you don't, they're going to hurt you. And if everybody's hurt at the end of the day, you're
so it's like over. It's really like you go into it and you're like, oh, I rolled 8, so I'm just gonna annihilate these first 2 monsters.
Right.
But then you might actually need those values for like worse monsters down the line, but you haven't uncovered what they are yet. So some of your abilities allow you to peek and disable some of the abilities of the monsters and stuff. But
it's a cool game.
It's really neat. Like in a small box, like the box is like it's this big.
Yeah, it's just we have it set up, but that's the box it came in.
It's like this big. So
and it's kind of like it's kind of like Final Girl. Have you ever seen that? How the box kind of like opens up like magnetically. Yeah. This does that and becomes the board.
Oh, cool.
So,
yeah.
So it's really compact. They did a really coul job with this one. I didn't like when I heard the title Set a Watch, I'm like, what is this gonna be, a time game? Like you're racing against time or something? Yeah. You like set your watch.
Set your watch. No.
And it ended up being like setting the night's watch for the guard while you're fighting waves of monsters. I'm like, this is pretty cool. It's more my speed.
We have a minimum player count, so our friend Steph's in the chat. She said she's played it. And it's difficult but fun.
Yes, it does. And Tim D6 with us. I didn't even know we could do super chat.
I didn't even know we had that. So thank you so much.
Like, I didn't even know
I've never gotten a super chat before.
We're a legit live podcast.
Much appreciate
We appreciate you, Tim D6. That's amazing. Yeah, I didn't even know this was possible.
We're gonna make you a moderator now.
So cool. I think so. We do actually play games between these videos. we're finding ourselves in a unique position in that we're pretty much caught up. We only have a few more games to play in our publisher review queue that they've sent us stuff. So it's like we've been just focusing on it, get it done. We're not really saying yes to Kickstarters anymore, so there's only a few far between. So it's like bought us this time. We're about to start playing games that we own and have owned for years, and it's gonna be cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
So it's very exciting.
Yeah,
and it's nice to be able to do stuff you want to film that don't get canceled, right?
We just did Cookie Champion.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Cookie Champion.
We love Eagle Griffin. We continue, obviously we always want to support the stuff that they're doing, but yeah, I mean, like you spend a lot of time learning a game, filming a game, getting it out, get the video out, Then
they cancel.
And then the campaign gets canceled halfway through. And
do you know if they're going to try to bring that back or?
I have not heard anything. Like they didn't contact us and let us know what was going on, but
yeah, on the Dice Tower, they were talking about it and they said that I guess they got a lot of, I don't want to say flack, but people were complaining about the artwork and saying doesn't look good. So that was one
the artwork was
that
was very basic.
The bakers diving at you from the
they're just
I think
what is going on?
I think it was supposed to be themed like Iron Chef.
Right. Well, it's like the Bake Off or something.
But like for baking, right?
Yeah.
So they did like sort of like anime, Japanime type drawings, like chefs. So it was like a little weird. But
I think that's one reason. I'm sure there were others, but they did mention the artwork, and I'm like, I'm not surprised because that's one of the things that we look at. You're like, yeah, that's just weird artwork. And plus two, they had the judges on there, and that's not even in the game. So it's like, why are they
they're not. Yeah, they're literally like.
Wait, there's judges on the box.
Yeah,
that's what they're on the box.
That.
Well, that's because you got bakers flying at you. So it's like you're too focused on it. There's like a panel of judges off to the side, but there's apparently not. There's not anything like that in the game.
It wasn't a bad. I mean, it wasn't a bad game. Like the way it was. Like the game wasn't bad,
and it wasn't doing very well on the campaign either. They hadn't even made a goal after like a.
That's why they pulled it.
I haven't even heard of it. I was doing this right now.
Yeah, it was very. It seemed kind of like last minute, sort of like kind of like we even got the prototypes like pretty close to
the date
when they were going to be launching. So, and then they had some issues, I think, actually with GameFound. But
do we what?
You just keep your video up, or is this like take it down?
It's up. We haven't taken it down. Like sometimes, a lot of times, the publishers will ask us to take it down because it gets confusing.
And they're like, "And put it back up when they're going to reboot the next campaign." But it's like, well, just leave it up. Like people, keep watching it.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to change the game at all.
I don't want to watch it. I can't even get it.
Yeah, you can.
Right.
I think it just needs a little more love in the art department. It needs the board is just not busy enough. It's just very generic.
Boring.
It's kind of like pastel, so it's sort of like it
needs something.
I would have preferred, and I'm a little extra, but like I would have liked to see it a little more like elevated, like clean box, like a little more tactile experience, like almost like an Eagle Griffin Deluxeified sort of like feel with just like prettier, cleaner.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was too plain.
Yeah.
It was very prototype looking. And it's like you're doing a game about baking and cookies and cupcake. Like there was none of that on the board. Like I want to see cupcakes and cookies and it just looked like, well, this is all we have right now, so here we'll just throw it.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I hope they do. They do good with it.
Yeah.
But
sometimes you miss the mark.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
happens.
It happens.
Yep. But
so,
should they
all
get
right.
back?
Well, cool. I think we've probably reached the end of our evening.
Yeah. So I think we covered everything. I think I'm surprised we kept anybody past the finance piece of this, but they hung in there. They wanted to see the bracket. That's why I put the bracket in the back, because you got to keep all the bracket.
Yeah. We gotta set the foundation for in a few months when the new stuff comes out. So
it's all important. It's all important. So thanks everyone for joining us again. These are always a lot of fun. Do enjoy talking all this shop on a Sunday night.
Yeah.
But don't forget to go do the surveys and spread the word.
survey.
Try to get as many people as we can on that.
And we'll put the
Vote on the
survey
bracket.
link in the description
description.
again.
Yep. there you go.
Because I think we can't put it in the links.
Can't put
it. Right.
We can put it in the comments.
YouTube takes it away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks a lot. Have a great night. Take care.
All right.
See you in 2 weeks.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.